Good afternoon. I hope everyone had a good 4th of July and still have all 10 fingers. That was only 5, but like all extremities. Anyways, this is like the third or fourth week my book has been on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and Walmart, and a lot of good stuff. But anyways, so like this is whole thing has been a blast. I released it last year in 2019, but there was some issues, so I had to pull it off. Revamp it, worked with some great mentors, and then put it back in. So, like I said, it's a lot of fun. And like the whole process, I've got to do a lot of fun things in my life, and this is like the most fun. But I will say there is one thing that is kind of annoying. Okay, so this may surprise you, but my book is very niche or niche. It's very niche. So it isn't like there's a lot of hard work that goes in, but it is very specific type of audience that likes it. So I've met these other authors, and I've met these other self-help authors specifically, and they'll say, hey, I'll say, hey, I write basically urban fantasy. I like to call it rural fantasy, but that's something else. But anyway, so I'll say I write urban fantasy. What do you do? And they're like, well, I write self-help books. And I'm always like, oh yeah, that's great. Good for you. But in my mind, what I'm actually thinking, well, good for you. It's like, because you know what you have to research for a self-help book? Like the bench press. Like you're researching the bench press, or like how to jump rope, or like nutrition. Like there's grocery stores. Like you have to research the stuff that is already at the grocery store. You know what I have to research? I have to research cannibalism. I have to research cults. And you know how many you know how many watch lists like some of that stuff probably gets me on? I don't know, probably all of them. You know, like how awkward it is when you're talking to a master gunner. Like, hey, master gunner, how would you I don't know, if you had a hobby, how would you turn a trash truck into a tank? You know, those are the type of conversations I have. The other issue that I have is all these self-help people is like, they can go talk to their family and it's like, hey, buy my book. And then their family goes around and says, hey, so-and-so from my family, they sold this book. You should buy it. You know what my grandma has to do? She has to take a book that has orcs, that has cannibalism, and she takes it to her quilting circle and say, hey, my grandson bought this book. You should try it out. And so I have my poor grandma out there selling books about cannibalism to other senior citizens. And these people are selling books about the bench press. Not that the bench press isn't important, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's a really great American. He invented the shoulder press, the Arnold shoulder press, but that's kind of beside the point. But anyways, so you can see just a little bit of jealousy right there. And congratulations to all those people that I know that are beating me with all those self-help books. So I just thought I'd throw that. Oh, another thing. Michael Bolton, he writes a book about his experiences in the Oval Office, and like that just takes off. That's number one. And like he didn't have to think any of that stuff up. He just wrote it out. Like I had to think about how do I get orcs in McCurtain County, Oklahoma. I had to think through that. Like that's I had to think through those things and not get committed to a psych ward. Actually, it wasn't Michael Bolton, it was John Bolton. I would read a Michael Bolton book.